Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic comes from Jacob N. Happy Monday, everyone. So I'm a bit confused. Before No Way Home came out, Tom Holland was talking like this was his last Spider-Man movie. Now I'm reading that Sony is planning on bringing back the whole cast and director Jon Watts. Why do you think Holland would change his mind so quickly? Are other movie roles not working out for him?
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in. No, the world is an okay place to be when you're Tom Holland right now. I wouldn't worry about Tom Holland right now at all. But yeah, listen, right before Spider-Man No Way Home came out, I mean, everybody was saying a lot of stuff, including Tom Holland, who sort of made some references to, oh, I don't know, maybe this is it for me. Maybe I'm done, blah, blah. To which I said, guys, like, listen to me. Tom Holland is not done playing Spider-Man. Like, there's no way. But say, oh, yeah, I don't know, maybe someone else come along, play Spider-Man now. Maybe say, nobody believed for one freaking second that Tom Holland wasn't coming back to play Spider-Man again. We all knew that he would. Now, we didn't know exactly how Spider-Man No Way Home was going to end. Was it going to end with a definitive Spider-Man leaves the MCU and goes into the Sonyverse, which I speculated they were going to do for a long time? Do they end it with him seemingly dying, which obviously would have been a fake death anyway? I love the way it ended, as a matter of fact, with him having that suit, the sewing machine, nobody knows who he is anymore, swinging out. It was a great ending. But listen, nobody took him seriously that he was. And to be fair to Tom Holland, he never once said definitively, guys, this is it. This is my final turn as Spider-Man. He never did say it like that. He just kind of, implied it heavily a number of times. We all knew that wasn't the case. And in case there was any confusion about him coming back, well, the head of Sony Pictures is kind of putting that to rest. This comes to us from the folks over at Coming Soon who wrote the following. This is the head of Sony talking. He says, "We hope to get working on the next Spider-Man movie," said Rothman to Deadline before confirming that he hopes the full cast returns. That whole group, we hope. Then there are movies that I would call adjunct to the Spider-Man universe. That's Kraven, which we're shooting now, and Madam Web, which we'll start shooting in the spring with S.J. Clarkson directing. And then there are many Marvel characters that are standalones. Okay, so that comes to us from Rothman, who's, of course, the head of Sony Pictures. So number one, he's saying, oh yeah, we're hoping to get moving on the new Spider-Man movie soon, and we're hoping the whole cast comes back. Now, when you're saying that publicly, that means you're getting the whole group back. And by the way, the context of the conversation also included Jon Watts, the director. And apparently he's saying they want to have him back as well to direct the next one. Jon Watts coming back to direct the next one to me is a little bit of a coin flip. Because not because I don't think Sony would want him or that Marvel would want him, but he's done 3 of these movies.
Yeah.
It might be good for him to move on to something else. Like, I don't know, Fantastic Four, which he's not doing now, but or apparently a Star Wars show. Yeah. I mean, that's not bad either. It's time for him to move on to something else. But still, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we do find out that Sony and Marvel end up enticing him to come back to do a 4th one and whatever. So, couple things from this. It looks like if he's talking about it now and says we hope to get moving on this soon, I think we're going to hear about Spider-Man 4 moving and getting in production a lot sooner than we were expecting, because I was expecting a little bit of a break. I think we may hear about something official by the end of the year, which I never would have thought that before hearing what Rothman is saying here. Obviously, I do believe that we're going to see Tom Holland back. We're going to see Zendaya back. We're going to see Jacob Bartolone back as Ned, who is like, he's kind of becoming my hero. I love him. And again, Jon Watts coming back, to me, it's a coin toss. When you, in the pandemic era, what is it, like the fifth or 6th biggest box office film in the history of mankind?
Yep.
2nd biggest opening weekend in the history of the box office. I mean, that's going to bring people back. Paychecks are going to rise. More money's going to be thrown around. Everybody's going to be happy. And like I said, I don't think they're going to be in front of cameras by the end of the year, but I think we're going to get some official announcements by the end of the year. Chris, you hear the statement from Rothman saying we're hoping to get everybody back, blah, blah. What do you think's going to happen here?
Oh, I think everyone is going to come back. 1, because money. We love money. 2, I think a lot of people thought that Tom wasn't going to return because of half a quote in a GQ article.
Yes.
And no one listens to the other half. So the first half was, I think I'm doing something wrong if I'm playing Spider-Man after 30. And then the second part of the quote is, you know what? I might do Spider-Man 4, 5, and 6, finish when I'm 32, and never make another. I'm not sure what I want to do. So he still said, I'm gonna probably make more Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I just might stop in my early 30s, so I'm not playing Peter Parker for that long. And I think we should then bring in Miles Morales or something else like that. I'm just spitballing right here is basically kind of how that was. And everyone took it as scripture. Oh, Tom Holland's gonna be done after 30. He's also only 25, y'all. So that's 5 years before he's 30. It's time to make some movies. And he loves playing Peter Parker. He loves doing this. Seeing him go to hospitals as Peter, doing his American dialect still, just going and visiting kids. He loves playing this character. This is how he met Zendaya, you know. He loves hanging out with all the people in these films too. I think he really enjoys playing this part. And who wouldn't? They're great scripts. They've been excellent stories. And we finally finished his origin story, right? That's what these 3 films were about, was telling a different kind of origin story that sets Peter up for that kind of more adult life of him struggling to make ends meet in New York City, working for the Daily Bugle. Maybe that's not the way they're going to go, but struggling to be a photographer and selling pictures of Spider-Man. You know, there's so many possibilities here. I think it would have been absolutely boneheaded if they didn't continue on with this story. And I think everyone on board knows that.
I will say this, though. While I completely agree with everything you said,
there's a but.
There's a but. But would it be the end of the world if they recast him?
No, we've had 2 others and we loved them.
Exactly, right? Because when the Tobey Maguire ones were coming to an end, I remember very clearly the outpouring of support for Tobey, obviously, and rightfully so. But we will never watch Spider-Man again unless it's Tobey Maguire. Yeah, you will.
And then we had chaotic Spider-Man come in and we were like, hi.
Yeah, and then so Andrew Garfield comes in as Spider-Man, and everybody not everybody loved those Spider-Man movies, but everybody really supported them, and that was great. And then they said, well, okay, now we're rebooting it again. And to which a lot of people said, really? We're rebooting again? All right. And Tom Holland came in. Now it's hard to imagine anybody other than Tom Holland doing it. But if for some reason Tom Holland decided he wasn't going to do it again, you know what? We'd be okay. Don't get me wrong. I want Tom Holland to continue to play Spider-Man for a while. One of the great things about getting him as young as they did was that he could play this role for another 10 years. Yeah. And I'm totally down with that. I'm just saying that if they didn't, it'll be the same pattern repeated again. Everybody will cry and scream, no, well, Holland, hashtag Holland is Spider-Man, blah, blah, all that. But then they'll get another great performer to play it, and then we'll all get on board with that. And then 15 years from now, Tom Holland will come back in a multiverse movie as another dimension Spider-Man, and it'll all be okay.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm saying I think we're going to get an official announcement by the end of the year, which I never would have said that before. Do you think we will? I
think so, especially with the success of the last film.
Right.
I think people are chomping at the bit for more Spider-Man, especially where we did leave off. How does Spider-Man factor back into the Avengers? Right? How does he exist within the greater MCU? Does he exist within the greater MCU? Or are we done with that part? What is he going to do now? Is he going to get MJ back? There's so many questions. I think people really, really want this movie to be in production tomorrow. And I think, too, with that idea of that timeline, I think all the execs behind this as well are going to be like, let's make sure we get these movies where they need to be, quality films, of course. But, there is a time limit, it feels, on how long you can have somebody like Tom who does most of their own stunts, right? All of that physical work, all those back handsprings and stuff that he brings to the table. There's a timeline there. That's a young man's game. So I think they're going to want to start cranking out these movies.
Well, and here's where it gets interesting, too. With the arrangement between Sony and Marvel, I have a feeling Sony's going to want this movie made sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel might be, we've got like 10 other projects we're working on right now. Sony is probably give them a little stick. Punk's like, that's great, but if you want this agreement to keep going, we need one sooner rather than that.
Well, they need an MCU, or they need a Marvel win over at Sony, right?
What, Morbius wasn't that win?
Apparently.
Like, what? What are you saying, that Morbius didn't change the landscape of the cinematic universe?
Being a cinematic masterpiece. Oh my gosh. Crushing all that blue blood.
Oh my God.
They really need us to have some faith in that. I still like the Venom films. I think those are fun.
Oh, I love the Venom films.
I think they're really, really fun.
Hopefully Craven will knock it out of the park, too.
I hope so, but I think they need to keep Spider-Man and keep just churning it out so we all go, oh yeah, Sony can handle superhero movies well as well.
Well, it'll be interesting how that goes. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about these comments from the heads of Sony saying, yeah, we want to get moving on new Spider-Man. We're looking to bringing everybody back. Do you think everybody will be back? Do you think we will hear about a new film sooner rather than later? Or do you think we're going to have to wait a couple more years? Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Mint Mobile. You know, the one with the delightful ads with good Canadian kid Ryan Reynolds. So look, after years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, is that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't a catch. And guys, that's no joke, because for years I've been using one of the major providers and it was fine. But I switched over to Mint Mobile a little while ago. The service has been fantastic. And the big difference is I'm now paying about 1/3 of what I was paying before. And the best part for anybody who just hates their phone bills is that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea.